you know, the next round is going to be what is normally the force, and after having spent so much here, that could put them in danger. Now Cinnamon is going to get forced off of her position by the Sova drone, and unfortunately she's going to get caught out very early on by Banshee. Start making their way in through Pizza, through mid, in fact leaving one in Pizza just in case of a sneaky rotation. But Roxy, the absolute anchor of Guild, holding her ground here. 3 kills. Can she get the last one? Nah, okay. They don't move in onto the side, so that gets yoinked away from her. minemosynE, we've seen her do incredibly well yesterday, but now it's a pretty difficult situation to be in a 1 versus 3. She's managed to get 2. All right, so we missed that out, but it seems like there was a trade in mid, so the aggression actually does pay off a little bit, as now the rotation has come through from BBL. They've moved entirely across the way over towards the A side. There is a little bit of a flank coming in here. Not a massive one, as they're just moving in through tree. But look at where Xecriona is going. She's pushing her way up through catwalk. She's trying to get in behind them. Paranoid is going to come out. Doesn't connect though, and that gives a lot of space to move in. Huge gun advantage. BBL should be on top of this. They've given themselves a 1-person advantage. aNNja with just...
To make sure that if anyone was trying to aggress onto the Jet to punish that, you immediately push them away.
Oh, Smurfette, I love this. Playing off the owl drone, but gets punished for it. Thankfully, Victoria, with a very aggressive push out into mid, is able to not only trade, but get that numbers advantage back up. Smurfette, known for being a pretty aggressive player, and it does somewhat get detrimental at a point. Victoria's just gonna keep up this streak of terror. Now, however, she's the only player left alive. BBL started to claw this back, but the spike is down, and they have to try to regain control of it. Victoria is just pretty much gonna babysit it at this point. They are gonna know exactly where she is, so she has to play this so perfectly. The timing from BBL has to be on point. She's gonna use the teleport just to get some information. Oh, it's not. She's actually pushing out. She gets one. Also now realized that there's the operator on B, so they're just going to hightail it over to A.
They didn't check
teleport comes through into heaven. And I mean, they slowed it, but they didn't throw anything into it. So Victoria just is allowed to pop off, I guess. Victoria and Roxy doing what they do, and Eva once again last player left alive, and she finds herself in these situations so often, and she has to do so much. 1 versus 4 here. Can it even be done? She doesn't have control of the spike. The off is right there. She knows it is. Turns around because Cinnamon is right behind her. She's pinned it in.
Off of Omen smoke.
Alright, so now we've moved over back towards A. A little bit of presence towards mid. In fact, that's where the spike's headed at the moment. BBL trying to... Oh no! Immediately they spot out that this is where the push is going to be. The Hunter's Fury comes down, and that gets an absolutely illegal kill. Oh, the nano swarms as well. It's such cleanup.
They might not be expecting that the A side is just a bait for them. In fact, they're dropping the lockdown to try and clear GLDX off of it, but that's just immediately sending up the signal flares that they're pushing onto the site, and GLDX are going in position of their own. Drop a defensive lockdown and force BBL away.
You will not. Oh wow. Okay, the race is gonna come out, so that's gonna make it a 5 versus 5 here. 5v5 retakes are never ideal. Victoria gets she gets locked down but doesn't get spotted out. Roxy's right next to her! I mean, oh no, it was Xecriona. Oh jeez, I nearly lost my mind there. Okay, it's pretty back and forth. It's pretty back and forth. And unfortunately, aNNja, okay, she's just been raised up, so it's a full-on 3 versus 3. The defuse is going in. No one has stopped her. She steps off of the spike just in time to dodge the bullets.
Did they just fight you up, Sam?
You know what? It wouldn't be the first time we'd seen that. Oh wow, the Odin gets absolutely nothing. It doesn't even do any chip damage. Oh, that's a good opening kill here for BBL. That's gonna take down Roxy, and she has been such a good anchor for this team. Immediately they're gonna move their way in onto the side. Maelstrom's being popped by Smurfette, but they're not scared. BBL just gonna overrun the site. However, they need to maintain control. The smokes are just not giving the right cover, and it's just a 1-for-1 trade back and forth, and now we found ourselves Eva once again, the last player.
As you can already see, 0 point getting charged up, making sure that no one on the side of BBL can try and contest in main at the moment.
Alright, so let's see how Guild choose to run this attack. They've made so much noise over towards B, but it's Banshee who's gonna get that first kill. The Ghost coming up quite huge here. Victoria gets traded out very quickly as well. Now we're going to see Guild going for some mid-control. Banshee tries to be on a little bit of a flank there, but gets taken out now. Smurfette, 15 HP, and a Dream has to take down. That would be a perfect opening, because then you shut down all of that utility. But instead of pushing on it, they pull back. They kind of use that. They let it tag them. They fake it out, and then they start moving over towards A, which is relatively undefended. Unfortunately, well, there you go, Nariel. She is there. She's going to get that first kill. And for Guild, this is their rifle round. They kind of have to come out on top of this one. So they're going to get that spike planted quick as you like. And they have control of the site. But again, only 4 players left alive here. Now another knife's going to come out. That's going to suppress a little bit. But Nariel's shots are so clean. That's her 2nd kill of the round. And aNNja is going to trade it out. But this is still very disadvantageous to GLDX. They know that aNNja's there. The judge comes out. Oh, there's so much damage, but it's not enough.
And this is something that time after time after time, GLDX, the second that they've gotten that sniff, that BBL are on that lighter buy, they just get so aggressive and they decide to full team stack on the sides.
Well, now we're going for a very aggressive push in onto the B site this time around. Smurfette just, oh, wow, straight to the dome ever. Not going to be the last one left alive in this round. And thanks to this very quick push in onto the site, they've managed to overrun it entirely and have taken full control. BBL only have 3 players left alive here. To somehow make something happen. Not a lot of crossfires to be made. minemosynE, last player left alive.
No one, you still bought enough time. And in fact, BBL, they're going to be opening things up with a lockdown of their own. They know how aggressive GLDX like to go onto this B site, but they put it in the wrong position.
Wow, they were expecting an aggressive push over towards A, and now they don't have it available anymore. And now they're just running into Guild's crosshairs. This... Holy, all right, misplay. I mean, it's a gamble, right? You take that shot and hope for the best, but unfortunately now, once again, Guild completely overrun the B site. Nariel, last player left alive in the defender's spawn. A little bit of that Noom to get out of the paint shells. See them posturing for an aggressive push onto A, and aggression is what they're good at. But BBL actually using a bit of aggression of their own. Yeah, unfortunately, oh, the first gonna kill is gonna come through from Cinnamon, pushing Nariel back, gaining that space so quickly. There is gonna be a little bit of a trade, but again, it's Cinnamon who comes up so huge. Meanwhile, it's Roxy who hears the footsteps in Dish, somehow manages to survive, but Xecriona, left so unchecked for so long, has managed to whittle away BBL's forces, or rather Guild's forces. Now Smurfette, 5 HP and a Dream, has booked it all the way over to the A site. It's a 1 versus 1, a full HP Sage. Ever, last person standing, always surprised. And now she's heard the spike getting planted. And this, it should favor Ever.
I mean, Smurfette's going to be able to see the Sage first, though, with your vantage from tower. And Ava has absolutely no clue where the raise is going to be, and worse, doesn't know whether the utility is going to be there, so is constantly going to have to be worried about those satchel packs moving forward. Doesn't check the angle, and it is now just 2 ships in the night. Starts to go for the defuse.
Yeah,
is going to be able to get... They just shut down so much information if they're able to kill the anchor on BBL's side. BBL has no way of knowing where GLDX are going to be playing from.
Well, with all of that noise being made, they know everything. The boombot comes out, creates the distraction, and aNNja is there to make sure that she gets the cleanup kill. Now she picks up a rifle for herself, goes straight up into tower. They're coming in to Xecriona. Oh, wow, and Smurfette is waiting for it. She knows there's going to be a peek through there. And that's already a huge advantage here for Guild. BBL, we mentioned, this is their rifle round. They needed to make something happen, but they've just been crumbling under the force of this attack. Now Cinnamon watching these angles, gonna get yet another kill. Gonna be a few trades here, and it's Banshee to BBL Queens. They've made them think that A is the place to be. Start things off with a Rolling Thunder, just in case. Throw up the fast lane as well, and the smoke screen. Just making sure that there's nothing that can deny them from getting this plant down. A 5 versus 5 retake. Well, I suppose it's 5 versus 4 now. And they know that it's an anti-eco. Realistically, this should be a bit of a cleanup round. And I'm getting a little concerned here for BBL. Oh, okay, as I say that, let's not jump the gun just too quickly. getting themselves 2 kills here. They've evened out the numbers a little bit. They've started to push in onto the side. They're dropping the neural theft as well. That's going to give the position of all of the remaining players. They've started the defuse, and while the rest of BBL are keeping them occupied, they get the defuse.
It's
out of that smoke.
It's beautiful.
Doesn't look like it's going to happen because, as we know, there's a little bit more happening up towards the top of B. It's a nice little cross-angle push in, but BBL have now clocked that it is going to be the B push. They've started to rotate over, and aNNja starting to take an aggressive push here, manages to get the first kill. Where's the spike going? It was like chilling in under, and now it's just vibing in B main.
They don't really want to go for the spike plant. They know that Rolling Thunder is going to be there for BBL Queens, and that the sign queue is the one thing that the Breach is waiting for. But unfortunately, you've lost so many of your players. You don't really want to invest the ultimate into this round, and GLDX now know that it is safe to plant. And BBL are going to be looking. They've got 2 rifles. They know that their economy is going to be coming into that question. Do you really want to try and go for this, or do you try and save? But they want to go for the pick.
Roxy gets a kill with the tour de force. Fire being, you know, a couple pot shots getting thrown out over towards B site, and Guild, they've kind of been very dynamic about which site they're going to be hitting at any given time. So not, you know, they started the conditioning at the beginning, and now it's just like, well, can you guess where we're going? Smurfette's going to start this up by getting that very first kill. The site is completely free and clear here in BBL. This is what they've been doing so consistently. They give up the site for free, try to play for retake, and there you go. Emma seeing 2 players just lining up in front of her. She's going to take full advantage of that. Xecriona as well. Going to follow it up. Showstopper's going to get absolutely destroyed, and it's Cinnamon who comes up so huge with the 3K, making a... Can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that Cinnamon on Breach has 16 kills? She's absolutely killing right now. Okay, Banshee's doing the killing this time around. aNNja isn't able to survive the paint shells. It's a little bit of a misstep there, and that's going to slow things down for Guild. Well, they're going to try and speed things back up with that Rolling Thunder, which doesn't hit Nariel, so she just wipes them all out. Oh my god, now Cinnamon, we were just talking about how you had 16 kills somehow advantage, and again, it's just going to be a case of overrunning the site. They're being a little bit slower here, but there you go. aNNja's got Neum, so she'll get in onto the site. BBL Queens have to try to retake this. They're going to split up a little bit, but look how far back Xecriona is. They have to wait for her to get into position. If Nariel solo peeks this and dies, then there's like absolutely nothing to work with. Eva from downtown manages to get a kill, and it's followed up quite nicely. So they've evened out the numbers a little bit, but Victoria is on spike duty. She says absolutely not. 2 versus 1 here, as Victoria eventually does go down. And Cinnamon, we've spoken about her. She's been an absolute champion. Spike is not planted for her, but she's hoping that she can get 1 or 2 on the cross. She doesn't get either of them, and now she has to use this utility to make something happen. So fault line comes out, she gets the first one onto Xecriona, but she doesn't have enough time because pros don't fake!
Pros don't fake it even
down quite drastically. But are they? Okay, no, I thought they might be expecting a fake, but they're just repositioning a little bit, getting Nariel up into tower. Now Rolling Thunder's going to come through to try and open up the site. Smurfette is expecting someone in under, but there's no one there, so she's just going to yeet it down. Do they know that Xecriona is right above them? I don't think they've clocked it. Okay, now they have. They've definitely spotted her now, and the few kills are going to come through because their crossfires are just not crisp enough. And yet, despite that, once again, it's all down to Cinnamon. She hasn't planted yet. She has to come up huge. She gets the first one. The swing isn't good, however, from Eva. So now Cinnamon, there you go.
No recon bot going to tell you that there isn't a full team pushing off of it.
There you go. That was the thing. So they pull out the paint shells and they hope that it's going to be fallen for, because aNNja has the Neum to get over towards the B site. And while it isn't fully fallen for, it stops BBL from starting an early rotation towards B. And now we have this situation where the site is completely free and clear. They've overrun it. They've dropped the Viper's Pit. Roxy's going to get a kill with the Tour de Force. And now Banshee and Nariel have to come up huge. 2 versus 5. 2 very huge ultimates online. Banshee's going to start that one off. Oh, aNNja full blind gets the kill and gets the...
But they might not be expecting that Smurfette's there too. With the Boombot giving them away. Even tags up a couple of them too.
Oh! That's a nice little flash that's going to come through. They want to play off of that, but Xecriona straight to the dome with the frenzy of all things, and she does it twice. Now the stim beacon comes out. That's a great usage there to just slow that down. They know that the stim beacon has come out. They have to try and stem the tide a little bit. Now gotta go fast. Moving in straight in onto the side. Eva's gonna get a kill of her own. There is a trade because Cinnamon is on the case. Stage wall comes out. It's not gonna be immediately broken, so that's gonna delay things a little bit, and Cinnamon will lose to her counterpart in now. Alright, BBL, you've managed to win 2 rounds in a row. And alright, they're looking to make that 3, possibly. Okay, so we're gonna get that first opening kill. That's gonna give over some information. I mean, you can see aNNja booking it all the way from the B site already to send in the reinforcements. A nice little use of the toxic cloud, but no one expects the cypher from the top ropes. Victoria does manage to trade it out, however, and now she's alone on the site, and with so much being thrown at her, she just cannot survive. She cannot stem the tide.
She's done enough, though. Snakebite fought the time. They couldn't push through it onto the site, and now BBL Queens, with the momentum, they were hoping to gain onto that A site. Having to slow things down. But GLDX, because they haven't actually spotted that spike, they think it's going to be a full rotation onto the B site. They're going to be a little bit too late.
Either that or they're trying to save. But I feel like it's a bit of an odd round to attempt that. So let's see what happens. There you go. They figured out it's not B. Now they start to rotate over. This is actually a good call from BBL. Instead of continuing to funnel onto the site when they know they have the advantage, they just play it slow. Make it seem like they're going over to B, and somehow Guild fall for it. Now Guild have to try to retake this with no information whatsoever. Smurfette's on a little bit of a scouting mission here to try and find something, and BBL playing it so safe, playing it so careful. They know they have the time. Just defender spawn. And that's where Victoria's waiting!
No, it's where Smurfette's waiting! Yep, funneling. Just straight into the op shot. You either push through the toxin screen into the players who are waiting in tower, or you push to dish. Where Smurfette has just gotten up bullet with your name on it. That being said, you are managing to make it a little bit of an expensive round.
30 seconds
They don't have spike though.
Yeah, they don't have spike. Minemosyn's on their own. Stimpack's gonna be running out, and I'm not sure they're cutting contact. And just giving BBL the space to be able to work with, because Banshee is going to use the showstopper. Should be able to find something, but Smurfette's the one who's able to open things up with an absolute banger of a shot.
Immediately pushed off of her perch there, but aNNja with a nice little cross angle from the bottom half is able to get one, gets stunned out, so it's Eva who is able to get that, and Xecriona is going to be brought back into play here. Oh no! Cinnamon caught them with her ultimate, and she's still able to get the kill on the Banshee. Only one player left alive here for BBL. They've invested the Rolling Thunder when they only had 2 players left alive. They didn't have control of the spike. There was no way
BBL, yes, they do have the orbital strike to try and counter it, but do you have the orbital strike anymore? Not if your Brimstone's down in the first 5 seconds.
Oh, that was just gross. And now look at this aggression from BBL to try to counter this. aNNja gets blinded out and shut down, but Guild is going to get a nice little trade-off there. Banshee alone, stuck in a corner with no help, as Xecriona is going to try to get back towards the spike. She is good for 1. She gets the second, she gets the third! What a clutch!
BBL off when they go for that spike plan.
Oh. Waiting to see if she can follow that up with another one, because Xecriona is looking to try and challenge this, but it's going to be aNNja on the other side who will get the second kill of the round. Oh, what a disgusting angle. And this is going to force BBL to book it somewhere else, I guess?
No, they can't go A. Toxin screens on A. And that's exactly why GLDX know that they can post the op up on B. Because without that Viper, without a Toxin screen of their own to try and counterplay, unfortunately, your operator can do nothing. You're forced to go into the area. And now it's just a standoff, 36 seconds left. BBL have to make a decision. They decided to bite off the bullet, but because they're rotating, Smurfette just gets another one. And Xecriona falls, no information going to be available for BBL. They have 20 seconds left. They have to move on to the fight. They have to use all of their utility. Nariel actually walks into a flash of their own because they don't have the time to spare.
Alright, they're going to orbital strike on A. They made some noise hoping someone will be there, but no one's on the site. aNNja's going to get the last 2 kills of the round, and that's going to be a